Welcome back to Average Joe versus Narc. Let's call it AJ, shorter. Welcome to AJ versus Narc. I'm Lottie and I'm here to share my experiences with you, co-parenting with a Narc, as well as our ongoing custody battle. It's my hope that by sharing my experiences with you, I help you in some way to make an informed decision on how to handle your Narc. Let's take ownership of them because they're not leaving us. Okay, so on to disclaimers. This is not legal advice. I'm not a psychotherapist, a psychologist, or whatever it is you need to be able to make a clinical diagnosis of a personality disorder. I'm simply just someone on YouTube expressing my viewpoint and sharing my experiences to hopefully help you all in some way. Disclaimer's done. So please, if you haven't already, do like this video, subscribe, and I really hope that you're going to stay with me on this journey. So today's video is really about, should I take my Narc to court? Now, I definitely don't think there's a right or wrong to this situation or your decision, especially if you are, like me, an average Joe. You don't have the resources to be able to hire a barrister or a solicitor or attorney. It really is you versus the Narc. And I know that is difficult. Maybe, and situations are very different. You may be someone that has chosen to stay in that relationship solely for the purpose of getting your kids to a particular age where they will flee the nest, and then you will flee the nest too, and that's absolutely fine. You might just think it's just one step too far, especially if you don't have the ability to hire someone to help you with your case. Definitely, I can completely understand. I've definitely been there. There have been times for me when I was like, is this the right thing to do? Am I going to make the situation worse? Because of course, with narcissists, if you try to show them up in any way, or if you try to, what they would believe to be controlling the situation, and definitely you will experience some backlash as a result of that, and you might think it's one step too far for you. I think mental health is incredibly important, and definitely this type of situation really tests your resilience skills. So if you feel that in any way going through court proceedings is going to have a negative impact on your mental health, then, chill. Do what is best for you, because you will be no good to your children if you get to a point where you're having a breakdown. We don't want that. Absolutely not. And that makes them win. That is what, well, in my personal experience, I know my Narc wants to see me break down, but it's not going to happen. So we will fight on. Okay, so I will share my personal experience as to what made me decide to take my Narc to court. And as I said, I'm likely to have to take this person back to court again, and you'll get the inside scoop. You'll get to see me through that journey, because I really hope, I feel that that's what would have helped me know what to do if I could have watched somebody. So definitely it's likely that we'll be going back, and you'll get to see that journey. But what made me most recently decide to take my ex back to court, 3 main areas. The first one is consistency. So I actually live relatively close to my Narc, and that has meant that we've had some sort of shared care, and there were definitely issues with it in terms of times of drop off. So thankfully my Narc works. So he has to go to work, he has to be at his job for a certain time. So that definitely meant during term times, it was wonderful because he's got to be at work for a certain time. It was still a little bit difficult because what he would do often is be late to drop. So I used to take my daughter to school every day. I didn't want her going to breakfast club. And at the time he agreed. So he would drop her to me every day. But of course he would drop her to me literally where I had to make a choice between giving my daughter breakfast or making sure she's on time for school. doing my daughter's hair and making her look presentable, or taking her to school on time. And then of course I work full time as well, so I had the pressure of consistently being late for work. And that's why, as a side point, it's really good if you can to, you know, as best as comfortable as you feel, let your management know about your situation. Hopefully they're very understanding and they can understand, or they can accommodate, you know, if you're late, or, you know, they'll understand, well, look, this is the situation. I definitely found, thankfully, my job and my boss has been very understanding, and that has helped tremendously through like all the different difficult times that have occurred. So anyway, back to consistency. So yes, there was slight problems with turn time, but for the most part, great, because he has a job. My Narc works in a school. Yes, he works with other kids. Granted, older kids, but nonetheless, he works with kids. So school holidays were just a nightmare, because for the most part, he had the time off. So he can afford to literally string me along right till the last day. And just, you know, I'd put in a request to say, look, let me have these days. I can work the bank holidays. Thankfully, my mum's really helpful. She always offered one day to make sure that I had slightly more days. So in a week, I'd usually try and have 3 days, and Narc would have 2. But it was consistently a battle, and yeah, it was extremely stressful. And I, as best as I can, and this is something again that I found to be beneficial for me, is to limit the contact, limit the talking, limit even the emails. I do not talk to this person, everything is in email, but I even try to limit that. But what I was finding, because I had to try and get some agreement, it was constant back and forth, and this one loved it. He loves the attention. So yeah, school holidays was a nightmare, and I think that was such a strong reason for why I wanted to take my Narc to court, just to get, these are the set days. Like, we don't need to talk about anything. Just do your days, I will do mine, and leave me alone. So yeah, so the other reason, to try my best to ensure that my daughter spends as little time with this individual as possible. Now, she loves her dad. She's used to her dad, so it wouldn't be good for her if I just whipped her away. And, you know, I've definitely made peace with that. So I know that she needs to spend some time with him, but I really, really wanted to make that as least as possible. And again, during term time is absolutely fine. He's got his job, and usually the days that my daughter was with him, she'd be at breakfast club, so she'd be there from probably about 7:30, and then she would be in after school club till probably about 6. So personally, that used to break my heart, but hey, you got to make peace with some things. And I just looked at it, it's still better, because it meant by the time she goes home, it's literally food, bed. There's no real time for brainwashing. But school holidays is the problem, because he is off. He's a recluse. In general, it's just him and my daughter all day, every day, playing computer games, doing a whole lot of brainwashing. And even just, that's my opinion, but even just from a point of view of, this is a 7-year-old child that is very active, is very sociable, needs to get out in fresh air, needs to get some sun. We need some vitamin D. We've got melanin going on. Like, let the child run. So even from a physical point of view, I just did not want my child to have too much time. So that was the other reason I wanted to arrange it. So if it can be that 3 days during the week, the court order stipulates that she is with the mother, wonderful. Again, I do not have to talk to him. It is there, black and white. And then the third reasoning was child support. So a child has a right to be supported by both parents. and there was quite a long period of time where he wasn't paying any child support, which probably gave me some relief from this individual, because it was one like, yeah, I get to see my child and I don't pay, great. But you know, I just think it wasn't that much relief. I definitely know now that he has to pay child support. This probably led to the conflict that we are experiencing now. But yes, what I wanted, I know this individual is a liar. Lies, 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 like lies, lies, lie, lies. Okay, relax. Okay, so yeah, so I know that if I try to even talk to this person for child support, it'd be like, excuse me, I have full custody, you know, what are you talking about? You actually owe me. And then if I decide to go to CSA or child support agency, where they help calculated the lies that would have come out, again, I probably would have had them not trying to ask me for child support. So I wanted it in black and white, who has majority care and who should be getting child support. So those were my 3 reasons. Please share, comment below, let me know if you're thinking about it, what are your potential reasons. Yeah, I'd be interested to know. I think let's get this conversation going. So yeah, so I decided, I think the final thing actually that really made me decide to go to court was an emotional one. Like, I have noticed my Narc it feels like an anniversary, you know, about April, May every year, this individual wants to give me some sort of stress. And I had noticed in particular, as my daughter's getting older, she's getting more susceptible to tension or, you know, brainwashing, in my opinion. So I had really noticed around about April 10th, 2019, and it's because I feel it was likely linked as well to moving home. So I moved into this wonderful home. I was in such a small home before then, and I think that moving probably triggered something for that Narc. I'm progressing in my life. Our daughter's progressing, and that probably upset him. So my daughter was really experiencing a lot of pressure. It was so sad to see. Like, she really felt like I was against her. She thought I was trying to take her away from her dad. She used to say that. She used to cry to me. She used to say to me, "Mummy, you're saying horrible things about me." Like, just lies. That's what lies. But she really was struggling, and I really felt, and I still feel, that part of the reason why she was struggling is because during the school holidays she would be spending intense time with that individual, and she'd come back. I mean, we already have a very like a natural cycle, which is she will go to her dad, she'll come back, she's got some negative thoughts, some slight behavioral issues, but by the time we get to middle of the week, we've been able to deprogram her, and then it's back to the cycle. But what I was noticing is that my daughter's emotions was just very, very strong and very, very negative, and it just made me think, no, we can't carry on like this, especially as there were occasions, albeit minimal at that time, where we had agreed that my daughter would be with me, and then he'd be like, "No, I'm keeping her." And again, that was more because these would be weekend periods, or school holiday periods. So it's just no school, no friends. It's just him and her, and she would come back very distressed. So, and I definitely will go into detail about that in another video, because I decided to try and access some additional support for my daughter, and I really want to share that because I feel that is so important. We need to, like, I'm naturally a very private person. That's even one of the reasons why yeah, it hadn't occurred to me to even try and do a YouTube channel talking about this. Especially, you don't want scrutiny from, you know, in the UK, it's social services. That those are the individuals that look at the well-being of your child. You don't want them there scrutinizing you, but I think that hiding in the dark, or not telling people, plays into the narc's hand, because that's what they want. They don't want people to know what's going on. They don't want that scrutiny, and sometimes that scrutiny is needed to be able to help our children. So as I said, I will definitely touch on that more in another video, but that was another factor. Yeah, and I think that for me was the determining, because I could do with, you know, yes, every child has a right to be supported by both parents, but hey, if it means a bit of peace, it's not that deep. But yeah, it was the time. Too much time was being spent, and it was having too much of a negative impact on our daughter. So that's my decisions, and here we are today. Anyways, thank you. Hopefully, thank you for staying through this video. I really hope my decision helped you think about yours. Please feel free to put some comments below and let me know, are you thinking about taking your Narc to court, and what are your reasons for doing so?